Do I give up? No. I hope to have grandchildren someday. I want them to be able to have a choice about what they put in their mouths.
My name is Audrey Redmond. I'm Dakota First Nations. Companies like Monsanto can take preeminence over the people of this land, the people south of here, all of the indigenous people all over the world.
Je vais parler en français et en anglais.
Hundreds of thousands of people in rural India have taken their lives, creating what is essentially called a suicide belt. This is a system, this is a planet that Monsanto has created, and it's time to put a stop to it. Thank you.
Come on up again. Everyone can have a chance to speak. That's what we're here for.
I've never spoken publicly, so I'm a little scared. I'm here for my children and especially for my grandchildren. My son is a beekeeper. He bought a business from his father-in-law about almost 6 years ago. He bought it with over 500 hives. He now has less than 60. 6-0.
GMOs, genetically modified organisms, like a woman said previously, we're the petri dish. You know what I mean? There's been no long-term studies on these issues, and even then they're fudged, like 9 months at the most. So just go about, tell people, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, and let them know about what this is, because ultimately it's our choice. Like, we could stand complacent and just ignore the issue and just go about our daily lives, or we could be informed, ask the questions, critically think, and expand our knowledge and realize that this affects everyone. We're all in this together. There's no separation.
Not one of us has not been touched. MS, cancer, acceptable levels of toxins. God, I hate that phrase.
Last year in southwest Ontario, a whole slew of beekeepers suddenly woke up in the morning, went out to their bee yards and found nothing but dead bees in front of their hives. No one knew why. Very quickly they found out why. Neonicotinoids, a new kind of pesticide, was being used in the fields on the corn that year. Since then, the Ontario Beekeepers Association has been having a major campaign to try and get rid of neonicotinoids. In Europe, this year, they banned neonicotinoids. Write to your Minister of Agriculture in your province, write to the Federal Minister of Agriculture, demand that neonicotinoids be banned. When you take away our bees, you take away 80% of our foodstuffs from pollination. We need to get rid of Monsanto and the other companies who are doing damage to our bees.
UNESCO has put out a world letter telling us about the bees dying. We need to stop this disaster that's happening in this world. We won't have any food left. Thank you.
Problem is, Monsanto has billions of dollars behind them, and legal teams. I don't. I don't know if any of you do. If you do, that would be great, but I don't think many of us do.
You got us.
We have democracy. We have a government which is supposed to belong to us. And we have to ask ourselves why a government which is supposed to represent us is representing the interests of multinationals and poison companies which are selling us poison.
Every year in this country and in North America, 20 to 50 million pounds of pesticides are dropped on the soil. You, me, we all have the right to healthy food. We have a right to know what's in our food.
What we're eating, if the government is okay with us eating poison, then it's time to get that government out of office.
Every single person that knows someone using formula, you tell them and let them know that that's GMO corn in those formulas.
You know that the GMO corn, they take this bacteria, the toxin in a bacteria, Bacillus thuringiensis, and they insert it into the corn gene, and that's how the corn becomes basically a plant that is basically a living pesticide.
I don't want us protesting against a company that's poisoning us. I wish that our government was doing that, but they're not, so we have to. So it is scary, and it's okay to be scared. But we are together,
and we will fight them, and we will beat them, and we will make sure that we create a better world for our future.
And I'm really happy to see you here today, because this just goes to show how awareness can grow and the word can spread, and that's how things happen.
Start saving your heirloom organic seeds, folks, because they're going to become very, 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 you bet. Save them, plant them, harvest them.
People have talked about the issue of GMOs and the oppression by Monsanto as an environmental issue, which indeed it is, a social issue, but I think it's also a human rights issue as well.
Well, unfortunately, science doesn't seem to understand that nature actually writes the programs of the food of the plants.
We all know that money is power, but knowledge is also power. We give up a lot of our power when we give our money to people that are making bad choices. But if you look at some of the things that we could do for ourselves, we could take a lot of that money away from those powerful people and put it into knowledge to teach our children.
I'm a product of what I eat. We all are. Garbage in, garbage out. I'm a cancer survivor, 10 years. Nobody knows what caused my cancer. I'm going to chalk it up to something in the environment. We don't need to name any names, but when I got diagnosed, I started eating healthy and eating organic and looking at what I was putting into my body, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm just really sad. Like, I just put as much organic food as I can into food drives, so the hungry don't starve to death. Thank you.
And I have to explain to him why people with money, who care only about greed, who care only about money, who don't care that they're poisoning people, that they're poisoning the earth, that they are poisoning people in third world countries, the people that they claim to protect, they are robbing of their livelihoods because they are robbing them of the ability to clean their seeds and plant those seeds again. They are giving us death to put in the ground and feed to our children.
At this point, in 40 countries, we have 200,000 people protesting right now.
Bonjour, moi c'est Alain. Bonjour. On a fait des belles affiches ici aujourd'hui.
An organisation where you can take action today, and it's CBAN, the Canadian Biotechnology Action Network, where there's lots of very, very accurate information in a sea of greenwashing and misinformation.
The scariest thing to me is the fact that farmers no longer have control of the agricultural sector. It's not farmers that choose what they grow and when they grow it and how they grow it. It's a market that demands they grow GMOs.
Now what I have here is just a small little idea. It's a little solution that I started in 2004. It's an online group called Ottawa Plant Cycle. And what we do is we trade seeds amongst each other and save our own seeds, and we try to encourage Ottawa to grow its own food.
We don't need no alterations. We don't need no gene control. No dark sarcasm in the lab room. Psycho, leave our food alone. Hey, Psycho, leave our food alone.
Oh no, we're just another pig in a stall.
Do you have something to say?
But when it comes down to saying bye. When it comes to saving 10 cents a pound, 50 cents a pound, or $2, I have to vote with my dollar for the children. Thank you, everybody.
The UN stated over and over again that food and water are basic human rights. So how did my basic human rights to drink safe water and the food that I want to eat be trumped by Monsanto and friends?
Hi, my name's Taya and I'm 10 years old, and my parents are really scared for me because my food is getting really disgusting and it could kill me. This GMO could really cause death and cancer, so I think that the government should stop allowing things for death and cancer.
In the United States, they're able to run the FDA and the EPA and the USDA are actually executives from these companies, and so they'll pass whatever they want through as quick as they can, and their tests are rigged. So any unbiased scientific tests are never going to get through to the public. It's always going to be the tests that they set up themselves.
Also responsible for extraordinary pain and suffering among animals in laboratories.
You can be angry at the government, you can be angry at the companies, all fine, but we are people, people are people. Choose kindness. That's my way and I want to share it. Thank you.
When I go back to school, I'll tell all my friends about how this is really bad for our health. Thank you.
Go to Greenpeace. They have their site has a downloadable PDF. It's all done color coded. You know, red is avoid and yellow is there's a bit of GMO possibly, and green is go.
C'est-à-dire qu'il y a certains enfants qui deviennent malades à cause du manger de GMO puis les autres productions comme ça. Puis si c'est important pour mes parents, c'est que c'est important pour moi. J'ai terminé.
Farmers have been fighting this fight for years and years and years, and I am pleased to see so many of the eaters of food out here today supporting this fight.
The commercial genetic modification is backfiring, and what we're seeing now is the development of super weeds.
So when I see the way that science is perverted by Monsanto and companies like Monsanto, it turns my stomach.
Yes! Community and growing your own food, sometimes it doesn't seem like it's really fighting these powers there, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do. You don't just by not supporting the system.
They're trying to portray the image that they are saving the world and we are trashing it.
I don't care if you live in an apartment with a balcony. Grow some sprouts, organic, GMO free. Put a pot with some organic heirloom tomatoes on your balcony. You have a choice and you vote every time.
So our job is to educate everybody else, to let them know about the poisons that are affecting our children, that are affecting us, and they're affecting the land.
Are we ready to march?
Yeah!
All right.